Will the Georgia Bulldogs have an elite pass rusher on the roster in 2024? That's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. In fact, I'll take it a step forward. Do you even need an elite pass rusher on the roster to win a national championship? The numbers say you don't. I'm going to break all of that down. We're going to talk about, who's coming back, who could be Georgia's best pass rusher next season. Of course, this past year, Jalen Walker led the team in sacks. He just had 5. Michael Williams was right behind him with 4.5 sacks. Both of those guys will be returning next year. So you've got 2 guys who you don't know how to get after the quarterback, right? Michael Williams will be playing a different position. He'll be playing more of an outside linebacker role as opposed to having his hand in the ground every time. Michael Williams is going to be very, very good next year. Jalen Walker will be in his 3rd year. He's also shown the ability to get after the quarterback. Now, he's not a 3-down guy. And he came in, what I thought was an inside linebacker, but he's playing outside a good bit because he knows how to attack the quarterback and get in the backfield. So you've got those guys returning. You also have Chaz Chambliss coming back. You've got Damon Wilson, who will be a sophomore next year. He showed a lot of promise as a true freshman. Sam Mpimba, I think, could take a big step forward. And Gabe Harris, another guy who was really athletic. He flashed big playability late in some games. So they've got a lot of young, hungry pass rushers to go with a veteran in Chaz Chambliss and 3rd-year players, Michael Williams and Jalen Walker. So there's a lot of pass rushers on the roster next year, but the numbers say you don't have to have an elite pass rusher. Georgia hasn't really had a ton of elite pass rushers over the last 20 years. David Pollock, Jarvis Jones, Azeez Ojulari. That's it. In 2022, Michael Williams led the team with 4.5 sacks. And I believe he was a freshman last year. Jamon Dumas-Johnson had 4. And we're talking about a season where Georgia won the national championship and kind of made it look easy at times. Maybe not against Ohio State, but they went undefeated. And their top pass rusher, the guy who had the most sacks, was a true freshman with 4.5. You can win a national title without having one elite pass rusher. In 2021, that's where Georgia just lived in the backfield. They had 56.5 sacks in 2021, arguably the greatest college football defense of all time. And Robert Beal, who's not an elite pass rusher, by the way, he led the team with 6. Nakobe Dean, an inside linebacker, had 6. Trayvon Walker, non-elite pass rusher, but a very, very good player, a guy who can get after the quarterback. He's a really good pass rusher. He's not elite. He had 6. Channing Tindall, a backup inside linebacker, had 5.5. Adam Anderson, really good pass rusher. He had 5. Adam Anderson had the potential to be elite. Dude had no idea what he was doing. I mean, he was like a big ogre out there running around, had no idea what he was doing. Thankfully, he was 6'5" and had a long wingspan and was naturally athletic. But they had to tell him, dude, there's this big guy in the middle who's going to snap the ball to this other guy who normally throws it. Go get him. Don't think. You're not great at thinking, bro. Go get that guy throwing the ball. That's his old job. If he knew what he was doing, he would have been a lot better. But clearly, Adam Anderson just had a lot of screws loose. And then Nolan Smith had 3.5 sacks. Nolan Smith was a very good pass rusher, got a lot of pressure, and occasionally got to the quarterback. He wasn't elite. In 2020, Georgia only had 33 sacks, but my guy, Azeez Ojulari, he's in the elite category. And when I say elite, I mean one of the top 5, maybe top 10 pass rushers in the country. Elite is elite. You're one of the best of the best. There's been a lot of very good pass rushers that have come through the program and made a big impact. But I truly think there's only been a select few who have been elite. Azeez Ojulari was elite. I will die on that hill. That's my dog. That's my guy. I will always stand up for Azeez Ojulari. He was an absolute freak. And still, it does make a lot of plays from the New York Giants when he's healthy. He led the team in 2020 with 8.5 sacks. They only had 33. My guy, Azeez Ojulari, had 8.5 of them. Adam Anderson had 6.5. Jermaine Johnson had 5. The year before, 2019, they only had 32 sacks as a team. Azeez Ojulari led the team with 5.5. So he's the guy who led the team in sacks 2019 and 2020. 2018, only 25 sacks as a team. That was a good team. It wasn't great. DeAndre Walker, remember him? 7.5 sacks. Another guy who was really good. He wasn't elite. 2017, second best team in the country. They didn't have anyone who was elite either. They had Davin Bellamy, Lorenzo Carter, DeAndre Walker. 3 really good pass rushers. They weren't elite, but they were really good. That's all you really need. You need several good to really good pass rushers, different guys who can get the quarterback in different ways. You don't want to depend on one guy. But Jarvis Jones could do that. Jarvis Jones, listen, if you're a young Georgia fan and you've only been following the team for 10 years or so, that which is not, no disrespect. I just feel bad that you missed the Jarvis Jones days because that guy, Florida fans still have nightmares over Jarvis Jones. I still hear all the time, Matt, I'm a Florida fan. I woke up with this crazy nightmare. Jarvis Jones sacked us again. 2011, 2012, dude owned Florida. He was the ultimate Gator killer. He was an elite pass rusher and one of the best pass rushers in school history, probably right below David Pollock. And if you don't remember Jarvis Jones, you definitely don't remember David Pollock. But that guy was just a menace, a freak, just a natural, outstanding 5-star motor, 5-star pass rusher. There just haven't been a lot of those guys. Again, so the 2 years Georgia won a national championship, they didn't have an elite pass rusher. I think there's a chance they could this year. If Jalen Walker continues to progress, if Michael Williams continues to do his thing, they're going to be tough to handle. They're going to be getting into that backfield with ease. And if Damon Wilson, former 5-star, if he continues to improve, I saw him in the locker room in the Orange Bowl. And I asked him, I said, with the transfer portal going on, you're an out-of-state guy, didn't play a ton this year as a freshman. Did you think about leaving? He's like, no. Why would I leave this place? This place is family. This is a connection that you don't see anywhere else. He said, I'm excited to keep learning and keep progressing at a place like this because I know they're going to get the best out of me here at Georgia. Sam Mpimba, same way. He was a high 4-star prospect for a reason. He's freakish athletic. He's got a great frame. He's quick off the ball. Gabe Harris, 6'4", 250, can do backflips. The athleticism jumps off the board with that guy. He could surprise a lot of people next year. So as far as a group of pass rushers, next year's group is going to be very good, I think, especially with Michael Williams playing a different type of role. He's going to be in a position where he can, be in one-on-one situations with a tackle or a guard, depending on, what their plan is for him on that particular play. And he's going to win a lot of those battles. I mean, the length on him and the strength and the way he's developed already, they're going to put him in a position to where he's going to be able to make a lot of plays in the backfield, get a lot of sacks. So does this team have an elite pass rusher? I don't think so right now, but come September, there might be one of these guys who stands out among the rest, right? They're going to need one, I think, if they want to win a national title this year. Again, I've said it before, this schedule's brutal, and they're going to need one guy to be like, okay, we need you to Jarvis Jones this. 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, we know they're going to pass. We're going to set you up right here, beat one guy, get to the quarterback. Jarvis Jones did it consistently. Every time they needed a big play, he did. Leonard Floyd was really good too. Justin Houston was really good too. I'm not trying to forget these guys. I wouldn't say they were elite. Other people might, and I totally get that. I would say very good. But Azeez was the guy. Azeez was so good. I can make a 10-minute video just on Azeez alone and how good he was. I watched him about as much as anyone in high school when I lived over there in the Marietta area. I saw what he did, and I said, this guy's going to be better than Brenton Cox. They were in that same 2018 class. Brenton Cox was the 5-star. Azeez Ojulari was like a mid 4-star. And I told y'all on this channel, I said, Azeez Ojulari is going to be better than Brenton Cox. And he was by a mile. So, I mean, not trying to brag on myself because I'm incredibly humble. Y'all know that. If I can even say the word humble. Sometimes I talk too fast. Sometimes I slip over words. Y'all know this. You just got to ride with me, right? Azeez Ojulari was a badass. Still is. But I don't know if they've got a guy like Azeez Ojulari on this roster. Maybe they do. Maybe one guy emerges and becomes just a truly elite top 5 pass rusher in the country. Maybe it's Michael Williams. Maybe it's Jalen Walker. Maybe it's Damon Wilson. Maybe it's Gabe Harris. Maybe it's Sam Mpimba. I don't think it's going to be Chaz Chambliss. No disrespect to Chaz Chambliss. I think he's a better player than people give him credit for. But he's not the biggest, longest defender out there. He wasn't the 5-star. He's a max effort leader guy who can tackle, and he can get pressure. All these guys get pressure, and pressure is great. They force incompletions. They force turnovers, right? And there's going to be a lot of pressure coming from this group in 2024. Jalen Milroe is going to be running for his life in Tuscaloosa. That's a fact. I'm not saying they're going to go out and win that game on the road, but Jalen Milroe is going to be running for his life. Quinn Ewers, hope you're in shape, buddy. You're going to be running for your life against this Georgia defense and these pass rushers. Jackson Dart, I think he's still got some bruises from that Ole Miss game when he had to go into Athens and they just got drilled. It's going to be tough for these opposing quarterbacks with this much talent coming after him. But you don't need an elite pass rusher to win the national championship. Georgia's proved that. But you do need a lot of really good ones. And I think Georgia's got this in this group. Thanks for watching this video. You can read everything we have over on Dawg Post. You can sign up to our newsletter. That link is down below. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you over on the website.